Yeah, so this is definitely coming. Sanna Marin, who I have covered a lot, and the reason why we're extremely critical of AOC, we're gonna get to her story here very soon, is because you can see the blueprint that the NATO left is following. They're not following like even someone who's not even that radical. They're not following the Lula blueprint. The Lula blueprint of reaching out to China, of wanting to have peace in Ukraine. They follow the Sanna Marin model, the European Social Democrat model, which, surprise, surprise, they lost to another right winger. It's almost like Social Democrats are weak against capitalism. We're going to cover that here very soon because they did lose to someone who is deeply troubling. But that's because, and I'm going to explain this here very soon. You had in Finland elections, in the polls, it was showed that the number one thing that people cared about was the economy. Now, you had Sanna Marin that essentially pledged loyalty to the Ukrainian government, and she was doing multiple press conferences. And I want to show you guys multiple headlines and sub-headlines because the way they're writing this in liberal media is the exact opposite of reality. They said, man, the global community is really impressed with Sanna Marin's position on NATO and standing up for Ukraine. Meanwhile, she created an energy crisis by supporting economic war with Russia. Then their mindset is, we care about the economy. We see that you guys care more about Ukraine than you do your own people. So she lost on the economy because Finland, Sweden, and Europe is taking economic hits because they got Putin derangement syndrome. So do not get it twisted. This loss is directly linked to her taking orders of the United States. And she was successful because she got Finland into NATO. Finland about to join now. Let me see if I can find the receipt. Like I said, I never expected you guys just to believe me. That's why when I show receipts. I see one headline. I didn't see this one earlier. This one 15 minutes ago from the AP. It said Finland doubling NATO's border with Russia is a blow to Putin. No, that's a blow to human and global peace and stability. You guys see how they frame it? Oh my God, Putin, who do not want global nuclear war, this is a blow to him. This is a blow to China. They always say we send weapons to Taiwan and blow to China because China doesn't want a fucking war.
Do they really not understand why Africa is like, fuck you guys? Like, yeah. I don't understand. You're doing exactly what they're saying you're doing. And it's, I don't get it, but go ahead, Nick.
And this is how, look, this is just an example of how the media spin this because in the United States media, you guys know how the Overton window is extremely fucked. According to right-wing America, even on MSNBC, CNN, that she was considered a progressive global icon, like the top of the heap, as far as you can possibly get and get power. She's the one because she's 34 years old, the youngest elected prime minister ever, a female, and that's all it takes. All it takes in the West to be considered progressive. Support centrist shit, as far as I'm concerned, of child maternity leave. Child health care policies, right? That's centrist shit, right? That the far right fascist Putin even supports. But she's a global progressive icon, even though she's a shill of NATO. She was the biggest simp of Big Pharma, COVID lockdowns and mandates, the face of it. And she had this press conference that went viral, and that really hurt her when she was like, "You guys must comply, or yes, we're gonna have the police go after you." The progressive icon weaponizing the police state to control the body autonomy of workers. The progressive hero. Now you also have Sanna Marin, who essentially pledged loyalty to Ukraine and Putin in defeating Putin. So this is the person that she lost to because these social democrats and their concession to capitalism, their weakness on challenging the right wing, it leads to people like Petteri Orpo, who defeated Sanna Marin, who's definitely also a NATO simp. And this is also what they support as well. This is what the guy said. He said Finland needs welfare cuts. Opposition leader says ahead of election. So this guy is also a NATO simp. So his position is, man, we need to cut the welfare so we can send more money to the Nazis. And Sanna Marin lost to this guy because she didn't have a substantive criticism of his policies. Because her response to this guy is, yeah, man, I disagree. You shouldn't cut money for welfare, but yeah, we should still send money to Nazis in Ukraine.
Isn't that what you just described? Marianne Williamson, didn't you just describe her just now?
I told you guys this is directly related to what's going on right now, and also directly related to the NATO left and AOC, because AOC and the NATO left, they are mourning her death right now, CJ. Mourning her death. AOC
Really?
loves her. She's the progressive girl boss. AOC
I did not know this. This is brand new to me. I did not know this because Nick,
how
I was introduced to her as a neocon crony by you. So I've always known her to be this.
You know I can pull up more.
No, I'm saying so I started searching and looking up her, but I'm looking at her from the perspective of I want war with Ukraine. She's been one of the more vocal people. So that's what I know from her. What exactly? Some children's stuff? What exactly? How is she not Marianne Williamson?
Bro, you can find countless articles of people saying like, man, she's the progressive prime minister. That's how she was marketed.
What?
And you know her only as the warmonger, neoliberal enabler that she is.
That's how
I report on her, because she's out in the open being a neocon, a shield of weapon defense manufacturers, right? But the kayfabe, the bullshit, the pro wrestling nonsense bullshit that they put out in the establishment is, oh my God, look at this young female progressive. She's a feminist. She's a liberal feminist. She believes in childcare rights. She believes in education and a lot of other social democrat centered shit that even rednecks in Missouri believe in. You gotta know, rednecks in Missouri believe in a lot of shit that they believe in. They don't have representation because we live in a Catholic dictatorship. So she supports standard shit that people, Missouri voters want, but we don't get. And people consider her a progressive, even though she's straight up been calling for war. And if it's up to her, we'll be in global war with Russia. Like, these leaders be saying shit, and then the government like, man, you can't do that, bro. You can't do that. And she's one of the main person cheerleading Finland joined NATO, right? And I'm showing this article because I'm showing you guys how I'm gonna show you guys. I just searched her name. You see, that's the article I pulled up, the global progressive icon. That's her, and the people on the right, if you look on Twitter, all the right-wing people like, oh my God, this socialist commie has fallen.
Oh my.
She's a socialist and a commie, but also a globalist. No, for CJ, if you're ever bored, look at what the right wing says about her. Like, she's a socialist communist, but she's also a globalist. Like,
what's gonna happen, Nick? We are literally living three different facts.
Yeah,
we're living. Listen, I mean, just using this as a look into how it's one person. You got progressive saying one thing. I know her as a neocon. Then you got them. We got a neocon and a communist and a progressive in the same person. Well, so that has to come to a head. That political seeing of reality has to come to a head eventually.
People are seeing it. Like, why do you guys think 50% of Americans don't vote? People like my sister told me. I tell you guys the story all the time. She can't do an hour live stream. She can't write an article in Substack explain her feelings while she knows political process is rigged. She just knows it's bullshit. She told me. She's like, not in politics. I know it's bullshit. I know they're hustling me. Because people, they see these contradictions. They see it out play out, and they just know it feels wrong, right? But once again, the ruling class, they don't need everyone on board. They just need the willing sheep and everyone else passive enough not to do anything about it, right? So this is the person she lost to. Once again, I can't emphasize enough. Also, a NATO simp, also supports welfare cuts, and also enemy of poor people in general. This is a tweet I saw earlier because this is another example of social democrats and liberals enabling the right. You had Sanna Marin, who created an energy crisis by waging economic war against Russia, had multiple press conferences where she licking the boots of Zelinski, essentially pledged loyalty to Ukraine. And then when you look at the polls, because I was doing research this morning, in the polls, the economy was the number one issue, not Ukraine. in Finland. Meanwhile, she's doing press conferences every day. Yeah, we sending more money to Ukraine. Yeah, we need to support Ukraine. Yeah, I know we got to really sacrifice for Ukraine. I know energy price is going to be high, but we really got to sacrifice and grit our teeth and beat Putin. Meanwhile, people are feeling like, man, bro, this economy shit is crazy. And because of that, the relationship between more people paying more in energy prices and the economy suffering in Europe because their economic war with Russia, that directly loses to her. That's number 4. Losing the election. How many of these neoliberals have fallen ever since people said Putin must go? Putin must go. Let's see how I find my friend.
Don't you have a picture? Somebody put a picture or something together.
I'm gonna write this segment up soon because there are a few more things I'll add to this. This is ever since Putin launched his invasion of Ukraine. There was like, man, Putin made such a miscalculation. It's over for Putin. There's people, and they will never admit it now, because I was watching these people like a hawk, man. This is super interesting times for me. And I seen people say, man, Putin might be out of office in a year. There's going to be a lot of Russian discontent. People in government going to be tired of him, and they're going to oust Putin. The exact opposite. Boy, more popular than ever. Russia is expanding their global influence. And this is the meme. Putin must go. Who must go? And this is literally a meme template. Like, there's so many examples of these. I will show you guys the other one. Yeah, because there's so many of these leaders. I'm gonna show you guys. This is the Zelinski curse I was talking about. I spoiled the first one. Forget about.
Oh, that's the one. Zelinski curse one. Yeah, that's the one I saw.
I should have found a better picture than this one for her. This one kind of. I noticed it later. I'm like, damn, that's not a good quality picture. But you guys see, she had multiple. Like, Google her and Zelinski. I was like, damn, how many pictures y'all have together? Y'all homie. Like, I didn't take that many pictures with my friends when I was a teenager. Like, back in the MySpace days, we didn't take any pictures together. And she's taking with Zelinski. So I posted another one because I wanted another high quality one. But look at the Zelinski curse. Yes, Sanna Marin that just lost. The greatest prime minister of all time, Liz Truss. In the UK, the GOAT.
Forgot about her.
No one can convince me she's not the greatest of all time. The most hilarious politician I've ever seen in my life. But she got in office, crashed the economy immediately. I'm sorry, I don't want to write too much. That shit was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Boris Johnson, who's trying to sneak his way back into power, apparently. UK politics is ridiculous. I talked to UK politics a lot when I was in Seattle. When I had Mike Foster down there, he was apparently, like, now I'm a little bit behind, but apparently they did it. They got Jeremy Corbyn to possibly support independent. I gotta be careful. I gotta look into it. I just saw that as a headline. But he was big in the UK politics. Boris Johnson, big Zelinski bootlicker. He was the guy who, with Zelinski, like a few months into the war, Ukraine, a few months into the war, they was like, man, what's our long-term strategy here? Maybe we should talk to Putin. And Boris Johnson was like, no, you don't. Nah, you're not having none of that. So he probably one of the biggest war cheerleaders. Boris Johnson is gone. Gone. And now I'll say what coming up next? Emmanuel Macron.
Yeah, there's no way he's gonna win. There's no way he's gonna win. What he did with the pension, and you see, he like those people in the general strike gonna go, oh, okay, let's vote for him. Let's vote him back into office. Come on, man. No way he's gonna win.
He's next. You're definitely next, Macron. And the final boss, maybe.
Yes,
that's the final boss.
There's no way. There's no way. He barely beat Donald Trump, the one that's just crazy, and they say, oh, he's just terrible for democracy. He barely beat Donald Trump because there was a pandemic. If there wasn't a pandemic where we were locked in, he would have to have campaigned and he would have lost. We would have all seen him stumbling and babbling, and he would have lost. Because he didn't have to campaign, here we are.
So I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I am not good at predicting electoral politics. Shit makes no sense to me. I don't know. I'm not good at making predictions because it's ridiculous. I would say not looking great for Joe though. Not looking great. Just simply
this doesn't mean Trump is great. This doesn't.
Yeah.
That's what people need to. It doesn't mean Trump is great. He was just a better. No, it means that Joe is just that terrible. You know what I'm saying? He is just that terrible.
Also, I want to share this as well. CJ, you want to see how they... I saw so many of these articles. I clipped a few of these because I didn't want to go through all of them live to make the statement go faster. Look at how they write about her, CJ. A law for global feminist politics.
What?
Sanna Marin, the pro-war neocon who wants World War III, who's a shield of weapon manufacturers, her losing is a law for global feminism. Now do you guys know why I hate liberal, underline bold, liberal feminism?
She sounds like Hillary Clinton, and she's put on a pedestal as some sort of feminist or something, as some sort of feminist icon, which is just ridiculous to me. That's like Madeleine, but it's the same people that say Madeleine Albright is a feminist icon. The Anna Kasparians, I think that.
I'll tell you, man, these white liberal feminists are dangerous to Black lives. Look up historically how white liberal feminists fought against people, Black Americans, looking for their civil rights as well. They are you gotta be a Black radical Marxist feminist. And this liberal feminism shit is dangerous. They like, yeah, we want a woman CEO at head of Raytheon. We got Kamala Harris as vice president. Slay Queen. Amy Klobuchar, man, she was such a great prosecutor.
Yeah,
I love female prosecutors. That's liberal feminism in a nutshell. Not feminism. Can't speak on that. That's liberal feminism. You had Angela Davis that wrote and then had a great lecture. I saw this lecture a long time ago. I need to revisit it because she did a lecture about how white liberal feminism is like a scourge of the earth. Like, bro, she does not hold back. I need to watch that again. But I digress. I'm gonna show this to CJ because it's kind of how they talk about it. She was progressive, she fell. The NATO left is melting down. The fake progressives are melting down because they're like, oh my God, this is another sign of the right wing being emboldened globally and winning. There's a right wing surge. Why do you think that is? A right wing surge that came out of nowhere. That's the consequence of nothing, CJ. This is the response of weak social democrat and liberal response to right wing fascist policies, because a lot of the right wing fascist policy they support as well. You did stream on this. I love the stream you did on this. These neoliberals, social democrats, these liberals, they enable the right like none other. Here's Zoya's life, explaining because there are a lot of these NATO liberals. Because this is my tweet. Damn, 66,000 views. Blew up because there are a lot of NATO people upset. Because I was like, Twitter, I got to talk a lot of shit on Twitter. I was like, Sanna Marin got destroyed in Finland's elections last night. Placed third place after selling her country out to NATO. And CJ, you want to know what they're saying? They said, oh man, she didn't get destroyed. She only lost by a few points. Yes, she got in third place. These people will be like, yeah, we only lost by a little bit.
That's what they're saying about Marianne Williamson. She polled 10%. She polled 10%. They're like, look, just like Bernie. Bernie polled 10% with a full field, not with two people. And Bernie's 10% was for Bernie. 3%, Nick, of the 10% is for Marianne. The other 7% of her 10%, Nick, are just probablys. They're maybes.
Yes,
but they put it together to make it look good. But they're going out there, look, 10%, she doubled her. I'm like, my God, you guys are just lying to people. Go ahead.
Liberals are embarrassing with this shit. The same thing with Hillary Clinton. Like, well, technically, we would have beat Trump if it wasn't for the electoral college. Okay, the electoral college is this and you lost. What do these fucking concessions get for you? Like, when Bernie Sanders lost, I was immediately furious. I was immediately in disarray. Immediately had to discover my new strategy. I wasn't like CJ. Oh, damn, Bernie Sanders lost. At least we won 22 states, though. The only people doing that are comfortable people. Man, we won 22 states, though. Who gives a shit?
That is so telling. That is so telling. Because the people who are like, wow, we didn't make it so that I can improve my life, we're not going, at least we won 22 states. It's so telling how, and that's the whole thing behind Marianne Williamson, is that we know we're not going to win, but we're still gonna fight. What does that do? What does this do to spend millions of dollars on? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But I digress. Let's get back to the article there. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is I'm almost done with this segment. This is Zoya's love, Zoya's life, the powerful Zoya. This is a great point because this person was like, why does her NATO stance have anything to do with her loss? Because my tweet, I was like, bro, this NATO clown got destroyed. They were like, what did NATO got to do with it? The obvious conclusion I said earlier. And then Zoya, great, this is a great point. That's why I want to make sure I show her tweet. Zoya said, because sanctioning Russia created an energy crisis and becoming an official U.S. puppet is economically hurting all NATO allies. Finland entered a recession in the final quarter of 2022 with negative growth. Sanna Marin, the social democrat, you want to know what she did, CJ? She took a neutral country, turned it into a NATO goon, and turned it into a build-a-wall style American vassal. Yes, the progressive left, the people who are pro-immigration, apparently, the people who like abolish ICE, Finland and Sanna Marin, their entire thing was build the wall, build that wall, build that wall. Sanna Marin was taking advantage of Russia. CJ, she was taking advantage of Russia. I want you to continue, but she's taking advantage of Russia is xenophobia in our country. And she was trying to use that for political gain. The same thing that Trump and the right wing did. Look, for real, look at this headline. Finland begins construction of barrier wall along with Russia. And guess who was cheerleading for this? The progressive icon. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
What does the NATO left say about this?
No coverage.
What do they say about this? Like, this is the thing. This is why it's so. We have to understand it is dangerous teaming up with these people. They're telling us the Trump supporter is our enemy. They are. Look what's happening, man. Like, this is so absurd. They're not even covering. They're pushing a neocon as a progressive. What does that mean? What does that say about what they think about internationalism? What does that mean? What they think about imperialism?
Look at this. Sorry, my bad, CJ. But this quote here, this trend is gonna be devastating. I tell you, I cope by laughing, guys. This shit is bad. Don't get it twisted. This shit is bad. Neoliberals and progressives being sellouts and enabling the right will hurt everybody. But laughing is my comfort. Like, when I laugh on this shit because I'm hurting inside. Look at this. This is how Orpo beat Marin. And CJ, what does this sound like? What election does this sound like about to happen? Orpo accused Marin, Orpo's the guy who beat Marin, of eroding Finland's economic resilience at a time when Europe's energy crisis, driven by Russia's war in Ukraine, has hit the country hard and the cost of living has increased. So this right-winger was like, man, look at Sanna Marin, the progressive Democrats and these social democrats. They are responsible for your cost of living crisis, and they are socialists. Hey, look at AOC. They love Sanna Marin. These socialists are responsible for the rise of your energy crisis, hence why they are winning. And guess who's going to criticize the progressive left in an upcoming U.S. election on this? This is going to be Marjorie Taylor Greene versus AOC, guys. This is going to be Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. And then they're going to blame us for when they lose. Like, I see you, Bryce. Somehow it's going to be Russia's fault. See that comment in the corner of my eye. But I think I got one more. I'm going to finish this segment. I'll just quickly read the last two receipts I have. Max Blumenthal. I saw a lot of his coverage on Santa. Like, if you want to see someone roast Sanna Marin, check out Max Blumenthal. This dude has ripped her to shreds multiple times. So this is one of the most recent times. The NATO left being pro-Nazi, CJ. And I'm cutting it short. I can go on her all day. Like, I'm so glad to see her lose. Obviously not glad because, like, we all lose no matter what, but it's fucking funny. I'll just say that. Finnish Prime Minister Sanna Marin laid flowers for ultra-nationalist Banderite, the Nazi commander, right sector, who joked that his dog ate the bones of Russian children. And this is Sanna Marin, who laid flowers and eulogizing this guy. Real shit. This is a Nazi, a Banderite violent thug who is treated as a hero in Ukraine and in Finland. But tell me more about how you guys are on the right side of history by supporting these people. CJ, any last thoughts you guys have on here? I'm gonna turn my camera off.
But what you're saying about this Nazi, this is what I'm saying. Like, it goes back to that article again from the about the DSA. There's no policy position they're willing to throw away to serve the ties to keep the ties that they want to have with the Democratic Party. There's nothing they're willing to sell out. And you were seeing it with Ukraine. We saw it with the breaking of the strikes. We're seeing it. My final word.
Yeah, I'm about to. I read this headline earlier. I don't know why I put it at the end of my set story. I want to read it again. Finland doubling NATO's border with Russia and blow to Putin. Cannot emphasize that enough. This headline's bullshit. It's not a blow to Putin. It's a blow to humanity. It's a blow of the global working class and people who are friends of peace. They're not, though. They're not. We got them. We got our war. We got them. We got them. That's what they're happy about. So that's my last thoughts. CJ, I know you have a few stories. You can try.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the AOC story.
Yes,
but let me
just
shout out
that one. It's good. It's good we cover AOC now because I'm telling you guys, Sanna Marin is exactly what AOC is patterned her career after. But from her stances on war and military, her nonsense bullshit push and focus on the cultural war instead of substantive goods, that is what AOC is trying to become.